Hi, everyone. I am Yelizaveta. Welcome back to Yoga for Tango Dancers. If you are new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe so that you hear about the new tutorials that I have posting every week. And if you do like this video, I appreciate you clicking that like button. Today, we are going to focus on lower back recovery. And there's a reason why I've decided to choose this topic, and it's because I myself have needed some lower back recovery. Now, when I'm talking about lower back recovery, I'm talking about that place where maybe you pulled something in your lower back and it kind of hurts and you kind of don't want to move and you feel like you really need to rest. So I experienced that myself last week. And there are certain things that you can do in terms of moving your body to help the body to heal and come back to equilibrium. So it's usually nice to take the first 24 hours after you pulled your back to just rest and not move very much. But even into the second day, there are some movements that are really nice to bring back into your day. So I'm going to show you a couple of variations of the same movement depending on where you are in your recovery. So you can choose one or the other, or I would say the first one I advise you to do within maybe 24 to 48 hours of when you pulled your back or you have some sort of discomfort happen there. And then the next variation can be done a few days afterwards. I do recommend that you do this for a few minutes at a time. Don't spend too much time trying to get it right. Just about 5 minutes, but several times throughout the day is useful. To begin, you're just going to focus on working with the chair. And you can decide to come to the chair and bring your hands to the seat of the chair while bending your knees. But if that feels a little bit too soon, too much too soon, you can turn the chair around and put your hands on the back of the chair and just step back a little bit. So I'm going to do the hands on the seat of the chair. You can do whichever one feels more safe and comfortable for you at this time. So now you're going to have your feet hips width apart and the knees are bent. Then from here, very gently, you're going to tuck your tailbone under. So as if you have like a little tail and you're tucking it between your legs. And you want to go very slow. There's going to be some sensation in your lower back. Maybe it feels like something is being stretched and it's very sore. So you want to take your time with it. Go ahead and reverse the movement, and now you're going to slowly dial your pelvis forward. So as if I'm bringing the pelvic bowl to spill forward. So this is a very simple cat-cow type of movement that you would encounter in yoga. But you want to do it very slowly. So notice it took me 10 to 20 seconds to travel all the way to the edge of my range. So now I am tucking, and you see my lower back is rounding. And then we'll do the opposite, coming forward. And once you do, maybe I would do maybe one more at the most. So, but we'll stop for now. To come out, first, make sure you come to neutral spine. So you'll have kind of a neutral position. And then you'll bring your hands to the knees and slowly come up. And try not to use your lower back muscles. So at this point, you check in and feel your body, no sudden movements, and proceed with your day, and then maybe come back to this again a few hours later and just a little bit at a time create a bit of movement. Now once you're done with this part and you feel like you can go a little bit more, so last week, the first couple of days, I was just at that phase with hands on the chair. But once you can come to the floor without any trouble, This is the movement that I really enjoy doing, both for recovery but also for maintenance. So very simply, you're going to have your hands under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and then the toes, big toes, will come together. So you're making kind of a triangular shape with your legs, your bottom legs. Go ahead and press your hips back towards your heels. And it does not matter if your sit bones actually land on the heels. Just go back as far as you can. And my hips go pretty close to the heels here. And what you'll notice is my spine comes into this very soft rounding shape. And we want that. We want to feel slight traction in the lumbar spine. You want to breathe, imagining that your breath is expanding the space between your vertebra. The vertebrae are those bones that make up your spine, and between them there are discs that are like shock absorbers, and over time those discs can become compressed because of gravity pushing down on them. And so this kind of movement, staying in this shape and breathing, helps to bring more space. Now from here, begin to go forward. So we'll come to the knees and hands like we started, and then keep going. And watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to release my pelvis forward. Let the legs splay out. See, they kind of want to come apart. And then I just let my pelvis go as far forward as it wants. And I'm entering into what's called an extension in my lumbar spine. Now, this is quite extreme. For me, it feels really good. If you feel like this is too much, what you'll do is you'll come to your elbows, bent elbow shape here, and come down and just work at whatever degree is available to you. So maybe you're here, maybe you're a little bit lower. Maybe you're on the ground with the elbows underneath you. It does not matter, because ultimately what you're after is this change in the angle. So we just were in a flexed position of the spine, and now we're extending. So we're moving the lower back into the different degrees of its range of motion. So this is going to be your extension range, how much your spine will willingly extend. And so you breathe into that position for as long as it feels good. Sometimes I also think about pulling my spine through as if I'm trying to drag my legs between my arms. And so that creates that feeling of traction, lengthening of the spine. Good. And then when you're ready to come back, so maybe you were hanging out here, when you're ready to come back, you push out of the ground and you slowly move back. Let the feet come back together, big toes touching, and then let your spine go back into its other range, which is this flexed position, and then you breathe into it again. Good. And you can hang out here for, maybe 5-10 breaths, or however long it feels really good. And then when you're ready, you'll just move through to the front and you find your extension. So whatever that is for you, I'll stay in the more extended version here. And then you come back. So these poses, I'm treating them as partners. So you do one, and then you do another, and then you kind of go back and forth a few times, maybe 3-4 times. And then after that, you can just relax, maybe rest, lying down for a little bit. But typically this is a kind of a restorative, quick restorative type of movement. that you can do to break up your day. Like if you're having to sit a lot in a chair, you have to sit at the desk and you want to just do something quick to bring some mobility into your lower back and get things moving a little bit. This is a very easy and quick way that you can do that. So how do you feel? Notice how your lower back feels from these movements. Pop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you felt during this exercise. And if you have other questions or things you're curious about when it comes to body mechanics, pop them into the comments. I love getting different topics to cover in future tutorials. So I hope to see you next week. Until then, have a good one. Ciao.